Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We are picking my TBR for the month of September. I cannot believe that it's already September. Where is this year going, guys? Personally, I think September is the best month possible because it's my birthday. So I'm very, very excited. We're gonna pick 6 books today like we normally do. I was gonna pick more, but because my birthday is towards the end of the month, I feel like I'm gonna get some more books to read. I'm gonna do a birthday bookshop. I'll probably film that and take you book shopping along with me. I'm planning on going quite crazy for my birthday bookshop. So I think October will have like a lot of new reads. We'll have a big book haul and everything to come. But September I've got quite a lot of books that I want to read and get through. So we're gonna pick 6 and see if I can finish off my TBR because we are getting really close to being like completely up to date with my TBR, which is absolutely insane. But I do want to say we did complete my August TBR. Can't believe I'm saying that. But we read everything that I wanted to read and more. So you'll see in my reading wrap up that's to come all the books that I read and what I thought. If you haven't watched my picking my August TBR video and you want to know what I've read, then have a little look. We do have some new releases coming in the month of September. Wild Eyes is coming. That's flown by, but I do want to read that. That will be fun. We also have Goldfinch, which is going to be the last book in the Plated Prisoner series. Definitely am going to be reading that. I'm very, very excited for that one. And then that means it's going to be another book series that I have completely read. I would have read all 6 books. Neverkeep does come out, and that is like the new spin-off book set in the world of Solaria. If you've read the Zodiac Academy and the Twisted Sisters books, but it's not part of the Zodiac Academy. Like it has nothing to do with those characters. It's just set in the same like universe. I feel like we're gonna save that for the October TBR because I don't think I'm gonna be able to like rush and read that. And then of course I have my book club, which if you aren't in my book club, you should come and join. It's free. It's on the Fable app. Make sure you're in the Fable book club. I also do an exclusive reading vlog of the book club book of the month. That's only available if you're in my Fable app. And again, it's free to join. Anyone can join, international, worldwide. So come and join if you aren't already in the book club. In August, we read When the Moon Hatched. The book club video for that is a good one. And now it is time to let the TBR jar pick the prompts and books we're going to read. So if you've never seen one of these before, basically I have a bunch of prompts in this jar and we're going to pull 6 of them out and then pick books from my TBR based off what the prompts say. So let's just jump in. The first prompt is a booktube recommendation. What's one that I've seen people on booktube recommend loads? You know what? I'm doing it. We're gonna read Six of Crows. Now, I feel like this is an OG fantasy book, but it's also one that I think every booktuber has read and every booktuber recommends. I think I'm just gonna use this as my excuse to finally pick up the book and read it. So, book 1, a booktube recommendation. I've not read any of Leigh Bardugo's books before, but I know that they're all so loved. But this, I believe, has like a whole group of characters and they're all end up working on like this mission together. So criminal prodigy Kaz has been offered a chance at a deadly heist. I love a heist. Break into the ice court and retrieve a hostage whose knowledge could change the Grisha magic forever. To succeed would mean riches beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. So 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Together they might just be unstoppable if they don't kill each other first. It does sound really good. I can already tell this is going to be a good reading month. What is book 2? Any fantasy. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm going to read. I want to read Long Live Evil, and I believe this book is about our main female character who's like dying. Her whole life has collapsed and she's dying. She makes a magical bargain and ends up in a fantasy book. And not just any fantasy book, her favorite fantasy series, but she finds out she's the villain in this book. Expect a road gallery of villains including an axe-wielding maid, a shining knight with dark moods, a homicidal bodyguard, and a playboy spy master with a golden heart and filthy reputation. That sounds fun. Also, this is the Fairy Loot edition of the book. How beautiful is that? So that is 2 of the books. Let's pick number 3. We'll go for a yellow one again. A book by an author whose work you didn't previously like. Oh, do I have one? I don't have any on my physical TBR, so let's have a look on Kindle. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm gonna read. I know exactly what I'm gonna read. Okay, so a book by an author whose work you previously did not like. Controversially, I'm actually gonna go with Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. Not that I didn't like Carissa Broadbent's books, but I'm sort of like a 50-50 with it. Like, I read the first book, Daughter of No Worlds, in that like trilogy, and I just didn't really like it. The Serpent and the Wings of Night I did enjoy, but the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King I did not. But I loved the Six Scorched Roses novella. So some of her work I'm like, I mean, the Six Scorched Roses novella is the only one so far that I've like loved, but this would be like the third series or third book of hers that I'm giving a shot, and a lot of people have also recommended it to me to read. I'm gonna go with this one because I actually do like her writing. There's just something about her stories and the characters that I just don't connect to, and like I'm a big believer on book vibes. Like 5 stars is a feeling, and while her writing technically is beautiful and like there's no flaws, it's not the writing style or anything, it's just the feeling I get when I read her books. I don't know, I'm not like convinced or obsessed, so maybe this book can change it, because when I read Six Scorched Roses it threw me off so much with like how much I loved that. So I'm hoping I'll like this one, but I believe this is also set in the same universe and world as The Crowns of Nyaxia and like the Six Scorched Roses novella. Like it's set in that same universe. She was commanded to kill him with a single strike to the heart. She didn't expect her own to betray her. Selena has sacrificed everything for her goodness, her soul, her freedom, her eyes. Life in service to the goddess of fate has turned her from an orphan street rat to a disciplined killer, determined to overthrow a tyrannical king. But when a brutal vampire conqueror arrives on the shores, she faces an even deadlier adversary. She's tasked with a cruel mission: infiltrate his army, earn his trust, and kill him. Yet, when Selena becomes his seer, she glimpses a dark and shocking past and a side of him that reminds her far too much of parts of herself she'd rather forget. Her orders are clear: the conqueror cannot live. But as the blood spilled by the tyrant king runs thicker, her connection with Atreus only grows stronger. A connection forbidden by her vows. Everyone I know has given it like 4 or 5 stars, so we're gonna give it a shot and we're gonna see. And then maybe that will be the deciding factor on maybe if Carissa Broaden books are maybe just not for me. But that's book 3. Book 4, also so cloudy and overcast. You see how dark it is in here? Goodreads award winner or nominee. I'm gonna have to buy a book for this. Let's have a look. Oh, I literally just read A Court This Cruel and Lovely this month, and that was a Goodreads nominee. Okay, we're gonna go with the Jasad Heir. 10 years ago, the kingdom of Jasad burned, its magic outlawed, its royal family murdered down to the last child. At least that's what Sylvia wants to believe. The lost heir of Jasad, Sylvia, never wants to be found. She can't think about the armies laid to waste to her kingdom and continue to hunt its people. Not if she wants to stay alive. But when Aaron, the Nizal heir, tracks a group of Jasadi rebels to her village, staying one step ahead of her death gets trickier. In a moment of anger, her magic is exposed, capturing Aaron's attention. Now to save her life, she'll have to make a deal with her greatest enemy. If she helps him lure the rebels, she'll escape persecution. A deadly game begins. Sylvia can't let Aaron discover her identity, even as hatred shifts into something more. Soon, she'll have to choose between the life she wants and the one she left behind. The Scorched Kingdom is rising and it needs a queen. So this is an Egyptian-inspired debut fantasy. A fugitive queen strikes a deadly bargain with her greatest enemy and finds herself embroiled in a complex game that could resurrect her Scorched Kingdom or leave it in ashes forever. This is a romantasy, an adult fantasy with romance. It was Goodreads choice nominee for best romantasy, and that's what we're gonna go with. And I'm actually planning on buying this already, like this week, so that works out well for me. So that's 4. What's number 5 gonna be? We've had some good prompts, but I'm also running out of prompts. So if you have any prompt ideas, please let me know in the comments. A book published this year. I'm gonna go with The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. Now, this says my husband is taking too long to die, and that's enough for me to read this, but I know there's a book 1. I'm not sure if it's like interconnected books or not, but it was in a fairy loot box this year, and they were saying that you can read it without having read book 1. But I want to read book 1 because book 1 is literally about a girl whose mission it is to make the king fall in love with her, marry him, and then kill him. And this is giving similar vibes, and I think it follows her sister. So very interested. It also looks quite short and easy to read, but technically we're going to be reading 2 books to read this because I need to read the first one so then I can read this. So technically picking a short book because I'm going to read 2. I'm going to read The Shadows Between Us and The Darkness Within Us. Right, this is the last book. What are we going to read? A book with 3 words in the title. Most of the books I actually have are 1, 2, or 4 words. We have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, Dance of Thieves, Serpent and Dove, This Woven Kingdom, and City of Bones. They're my options. And I'm honestly stuck between Serpent and Dove and City of Bones. I actually think I'm gonna go for Serpent and Dove because this has been on my TBR longer and I'm feeling witch and a witch hunter story. I feel like that's the vibe for September, so we're gonna go with that. And that is our TBR for the month of September. And like always, I will be reading these in my reading vlogs, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to see me read these and my thoughts. But I will see you guys in another video. Bye.